Hello everybody, Wishbone8121 here, and welcome to another Injustice iOS video. In today's video, we're going to be going over my favorite F-tier characters, or,
Green Lantern.
John Stewart Green Lantern, supposedly 4th tier, Red Lantern Hal Jordan, supposedly 5th tier, and Boss Grundy, supposedly 6th tier, or F tier. So, let's see what they're actually like. Alright, let's start things out with Boss Grundy. He hits like a truck. I've actually switched up the way that I gear him. I was going with low HUD before, but I found that the healing on combo ender from the overpowered super pill is worth the less damage from not having a crit boost. Also, his light attacks are just easier to use because his heavy attacks are so slow. So I found that playing him this way is a little bit better. He still hits for just insane amounts of damage, and Necron Scythe means that when he gets very low, he life steals and power steals, which basically makes your opponent helpless while you get all your health back and crush them. Alright, and yes, soloed whole teams with him at low health. Good teams, really. Alright, and let's talk about John Stewart Green Lantern real quick. Because I do have the Astral Harness on Boss Grundy, I'm using him with the Heart of Darkness as the third gear, and he's just going to be, our S2 person. Parallel Nature is actually pretty good because it's very fast, so opponents are not commonly able to block if they're busy. Unlike some S2s that are super slow, like Grundy's, which is just absolutely awful. But anyway. He's going to be carrying us, and his emergency barrier is really good for both Grundy and Red Lantern. For Grundy, he's at low health with 9 stacks of his passive, so he can just beat people down while they can't hurt him. And then for Red Lantern, he's able to cast one of his specials without costing health during Green Lantern's energy shield. And overall, he also, Green Lantern saves himself. He's pretty low health, so it comes in helpful for him as well. Although there are some times when you don't want to block, especially specials like Gaslight Batman's where the second hit can't kill you. If you know the third hit might kill you, you want to just not block the second hit and let that proc your energy barrier. There's a few times where I've made that mistake, and there's just something to think about. Anyway. On to Red Lantern Hal Jordan, and this is the guy that I wanted to really show you how to use, because he is actually very powerful, very powerful. Because of his Red Lantern Rage, he always has 3 bars of power, but it costs him health in order to use his specials. So without gear, actually, he is complete garbage. He's definitely F tier without gear, but with gear, he's definitely not, which is what the Justice Wiki claims it's about, but and obviously some of those people have no clue what they're talking about. Anyway, you always want him to have the Batman Ninja helmet because it reduces the cost of his specials by 46%. Plain and simple, that's what makes him great. On top of that, the Ibby stick puts 10% dot damage on a special, and that's 2% per second, so hits very hard. LexCorp helmet adds another percent of damage for 6 seconds. And it also gives him an incredible amount of block and a crit boost, which means when his specials and mostly his dots crit, they'll do 3 times damage instead of 2.5. So basically, between Batman Ninja Helmet, which he always has 3 bars of power, except for right after he uses a special, it goes back to 3 bars over about 5 or 6 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. I think it's 5 or 6 seconds, something like that. Anyway. So he always has a massive damage reduction from the Batman Ninja Helmet. LexCorp Helmet gives him a massive damage reduction while blocking. Between the two of them combined, he's just an absolute tank. Also, if you put him with Shazam New 52, he the 25% damage reduction actually stacks additively with Batman Ninja Helmet, allowing him to cast specials for peanuts. That's a 71 78% reduction in the cost of his specials and 71% damage reduction at all times. So he can absolutely just tank everything. And he's just a complete monster with Shazam. But obviously Shazam is really hard to get. Actually, mine was stuck, glitched out, so he could not be evolved for the longest time. I ended up, he was damaged. I basically could never evolve him. So I ended up contacting Magpilly, who fixed it for me for $15. So, shout out to Magpilly. I wish they would not, take up the entire leaderboard with their ad, but I guess, they live in the Philippines and they're probably not very well to do. So I get it. I understand. Anyway, back to this team. A lot of synergy in this team, and synergy is what makes a team good. Not stats, not even specials. Synergy is where it's at, so let's get right into it. All right, to start things out, I wanted to show a match against the strongest defense team in the game that I recorded while I was just, fooling around and getting some clips. This was not during one of the Ultimate Battles, but let's see how it goes. So I start out, I get Shazam down to critical so that he will leave the match, temporarily anyway. I'll bring out Boss Grundy to tank some hits from Aquaman here. And thankfully he does not have Tantu Totem. So this is not a perfectly geared team, but they're still geared fairly well. He's got Heart of Darkness instead of the MDC. Alright, so I'm going to bring out Red Lantern to tank Shazam's passive here. And basically Shazam can't do anything against Red Lantern. Red Lantern's just too beefy of a tank here. Alright, so now I'm going to just eat a special from Batman. And then I'm not going to make this hit any harder because I'll just be hurting myself anyway. And it does increase his personal dot, but the Ibby stick is more important. Alright, so now I'm going to use my ultimate with Green Lantern. And I know it's not going to be enough, so I tag him out. And I should not have brought in Grundy, because, that was a mistake there to bring in Grundy at this point. But I'm going to bring in Green Lantern to fire at Aquaman, and then I'm going to hesitate during the end of his special so that I can get Red Lantern in to tank this S2 here. Oh, unfortunately, Shazam procs his stupid tag and stun and just hammers me while I'm unable to block. But however, I am able to get off a free special and kill him, and the tag in from the MDC took out Aquaman as well. Now I'm just going to bring in Red Lantern here to tank some attacks from Batman Flashpoint, and then bring in Hal Jordan, Green Lantern again. Stewart Green Lantern for the finish here. So that's how this team works. The only thing that this team struggles with is if you lose Grundy stupidly because you're not blocking and he gets, crushed in a single hit. That's basically the only thing that gives this team problems. You just have to be careful with Grundy. That's it. As long as he doesn't die stupidly, then this team's synergy pretty much keeps them going well the entire time. Anyway, this Deathstroke has Nightwing, the Ninjato gear for some reason. But he's blocking like a freak, so I just tagged in Grundy to mess around with him a little bit. I ate a special one from Aquaman, and it's just procced my AH, and I'm going to proc his AH again, and oof, that's basically the thing you don't want to do, which is and that's basically how not to play with Grundy. Okay, well, anyway, I procced John Stewart's shield, and he ate another special there from Aquaman, so that was nice. And then I'm going to use my S3 on him, and that ends the match. All right, next one, up against Injustice 2 Superman first. I'm going to bring in John Stewart to take away his passive, and get him one more time here, which actually is enough to kill him, which means I can then use his S2 against Batman as well. He blocks, so I'll just bring in Red Lantern and dump the crap out of him with Red Lantern's S2. As you can see, he's very effective. That's one of the cool things about having Red Lantern on this team, is that you basically can have two S2 users. Because someone else can have the Tantu Totem and MDC, and then Red Lantern can also come in and use an S2 as well. So it's just, it's very powerful. Anyway, I procced Harley Quinn's AH at 50%, and then I'm going to use John Stewart for the kill, and his S2 actually hits. The second hit is for 50% of the total damage of his S2, which is enough to sometimes ignore AH procs, which is nice. Alright, back to the show. Up against Flashpoint again. I tried to finish him off there with Red Lantern, but then it totally backfired, and then I ate a special to the face from Deathstroke. So that was just very unfortunate. Anyway, I did manage to get off a free special there, and I am tanking with Grundy. And let's see if this can kill him. Doesn't quite kill him. He's left with like 1,000 HP there in his shield. And I'm tanking from Aquaman, but I'm gonna retaliate with some basic attacks here. Was hoping that would kill him. Actually, his special does kill him, so that's nice. And then the MDC should take out Flashpoint, and Deathstroke is at like 1 health, so that's the end of that. Alright, for this next team, they have Killer Frost, so I can't bring in John Stewart right off the bat, so I'm just going to bring in Red Lantern instead, and use his S2 to dot the crap out of Wonder Woman, who has a block breaker for some reason. That's strange. And this that should do it perfect. Injustice 2 Superman's out. He's got the AH and his passive, and he hits like a monster. But, you know, it is what it is. He's just kind of OP. But not as OP as, Solomon and Boss Grundy. Which, by the way, I'm going to bring him out here to get some action. The shield saves me from deep freeze, but unfortunately she broke my super pill, which means he doesn't hit nearly as hard as normal. So I'm just going to take him out and kill Frost with John Stewart there. Excellent. And take care of Injustice 2's passive, which is nice. And my emergency barrier will save me. Injustice 2 blocks. There's just a matter of time at this point. I just need to kill him somehow. I'm just going to bring in Solomon Grundy to do the job here. Injustice 2 Superman just wants to block, and that should do it. Excellent. Alright, this matchup looks pretty simple, so I'm just going to bring in John Stewart to kill Flashpoint Batman. Unfortunately, I don't crit there. I got almost no crits at all, so he will live with 1 health. I'm just going to use Turbine Smash to make sure he can't tag out. Alright, I'm going to block Deadshot there. He basically does nothing whatsoever to Red Lantern, and bam, hammer him with John Stewart. And again, it's Injustice 2 Superman with the AH. This will take a minute, but I'll just speed things up because it's really boring. And the guy's a frickin' mother box too, just to be extra annoying. So, yeah. Whoever geared this guy is literally like just trying to torture you. Alright, well that's enough of that. Next game. Alright, we're facing off against the Arkham team. I'm bringing in Red Lantern Hal Jordan to start with to basically get Killer Croc to critical health. Then I'm going to tag in Grundy and use him to tank Arkham Knight Batgirl. Take some hits here and try to see if I can kill her real fast. And I'll bring in John Stewart. Unfortunately, she has the AH, so didn't work out as much as I had liked, and I'm going to tag in Red Lantern to tank the S1 or use my Special 3 if available, which I managed to get that off. There we go, excellent, and it killed her. And now I'm going to tank some hits from Deadshot, which
is not really all that effective. And I will just retaliate by bringing in John Stewart to finish out this game here. Unfortunately, it was blocked, so take an extra second. I'll just kill this guy with Grundy here. There we go. All right, I'm pretty sure this is the last match. I'm going to bring in John Stewart to start with. And looks like Batman is immune to crits. Looks like he's going to live. That was really unfortunate. Ow. Looks like Catwoman hits like an absolute truck. She always does. Anyway, I'll get her down to proc her AH and bring in Red Lantern to tank a hit. I don't want to use any specials while he's bleeding. At least I hesitated anyway, but I did it anyway. And I'm going to bring in Grundy to... I was trying to finish off Catwoman. Unfortunately, Justice 2 Superman here has the LexCorp gear, so he got a full 3 bars of power while I was beating him. So I lost Grundy. I'm going to bring in John Stewart to finish off Batman here. And let's see if Catwoman will die as well. Yes, she no longer has any AH procs, so that was pretty easy. And all that's left is Injustice 2 Superman with the LexCorp gear, and yeah, that's the end of that. And that's our first Ultimate battle. It was fun. I hope you like it, and I will be showing another one here. Let's get right into it. All right, to start out with, I'm going to bring in John Stewart to use his S2, crush AO Batman, but then, well, it's going to piss off AK Batgirl, who I'm going to go after with Red Lantern Hal Jordan. She uses her S2 on me, which does break my block and stun me, which is pretty much like the worst thing that could possibly happen. But she's going to proc my John Stewart's shield, and I will be able to kill her with a free special there, and get off a second free special against Shazam. Now that works out pretty well. I'll then tag in John Stewart to kill him and finish off that match. All right, next game, I'm going to bring in Red Lantern. I use his S2 to dot the crap out of Shazam. And, oof, yeah, he dies pretty fast, or gets low anyway. Okay, and he's going to use the ultimate. Oh, man, Catwoman just, for some reason, she can always get her basic attacks on Red Lantern. I don't know what's up with that. I just can't seem to block. Anyway, I'm going to go after Catwoman with Grundy, and then tag in John Stewart for an assist here. Proc the AH, but I'm going to hesitate so I can bring one of my tanks back in. But unfortunately, Shazam uses his ultimate immediately. Alright, this is one of those mistakes that can sometimes cost the game, because I lost Grundy early, which is really bad. Anyway, it's down to Red and Green Lantern here. Up against Flashpoint Batman, I'm going to bring in John Stewart to use his special 2, and Flashpoint has a bunch of damage reduction from Shazam, and possibly gear as well. Though he's not a full tank, that's for sure. Alright, that time I was able to block Catwoman's attacks. I'm going to bring her down below 10 health, and she shatters one of my gears. Excellent. And he uses 2 specials back to back. Somehow, even though I was invincible, those bleed effects were still affecting me, which caused my special to cost 30,000 more than normal. And I ended up dying trying to use a special. Anyway, I killed Catwoman. Shazam thankfully doesn't use his ultimate there when he had the chance, and I'm able to pull this match out with John Stewart against Flashpoint Batman. Well, that was pretty hairy, but like I said, you don't want to lose Boss Grundy stupidly, and I definitely did. But managed to pull out the victory anyway. This was pretty rough, though. Alright, let's go into the next battle. That's against Injustice 2. I will get rid of his passive here. And I'll just... Oh, I definitely meant to push the special button, not try to punch him. Get him kind of low, and I'll bring in Boss Grundy to take some hits here and do some retaliation. He's got the LexCorp gear. So if later on Grundy gets low, I don't want to be punching people with LexCorp gear with the Necron Scythe. That is the one problem with Necron Scythe. But anyway, let's see if we can kill Flashpoint. Excellent. Got rid of that, and it's pretty much all over now. Somehow that got rid of his passive, which, I'll take it. Okay. And that's that. Let's go on to the next match here. Alright, it's a 3 Superman team. Let's start out by getting rid of Injustice 2's passive. And that blah blah. Let's retaliate again. Hit him with a special 2. He doesn't have that much health. Alright, he must not be augmented. Let's get this Superman low, and then I'll bring in Red Lantern for the kill. I probably should have just used his super move to finish that out. Instead, he's going to block and then probably get out of here before I can kill him. Actually, never mind. Maybe it was good to use a special 2 then. Whatever. I'll just use a special 2 against Superman New 52 here. And he will get absolutely hammered, and then I will finish things with John Stewart. Perfect. Alright, next match is against Flashpoint. So I'm going to start out with John Stewart, kill Batman here, and get rid of the water shield on Deathstroke, and he's going to just bite the dust. That means this game is pretty much over. Aquaman's not going to be able to take out an entire team by himself, especially not with John Stewart. Yeah, so this is all just basically all done. I'll fast forward. Alright, another match against Injustice 2. I'm going to bring in John Stewart, get rid of his passive, like always, follow it up with another S2, making sure that I hit him, so I block. And there we go. Then I'm going to follow up with Red Lantern, and he's got the freaking mother box. So I basically hurt myself for nothing, and he's shattering my gear, and Raven's coming in to do some damage. Thankfully, it looked like I still had my blocking gear. Anyway, I'll take care of Raven with John Stewart, and looks like Scorpion MKX is in the house. Interesting to see. He must have the Quake engine, because those dots definitely transferred over. And I'm gonna... Now he's got Necron Scythe, so if MKX does kill me, I can just resurrect. But, yeah, there's no chance of that. And let's use my special 2 here, see if we can get him down to below 10 health, which we did get him below 10%, so the AH procced again. And he's hurting me. And I'll just finish things off with those big, massive Boss Grundy hits. Into the last match, starting out against Injustice 2 Aquaman. Let's bring in John Stewart. See how hard we can... Oh, that was hard enough. But, Wonder Woman retaliates with a massive damage and a gear shatter, which actually also dealt team damage. So Red Lantern took quite a bit of a hit, and so did Boss Grundy, which I don't really mind with Boss Grundy. I wanted to get that low anyway. It just took a few hits into my shield for me to get my damage up to acceptable levels of, 800%, 900%. And, oof, New 52 Superman is down for the count, and Wonder Woman follows suit. And that does it for another Ultimate Battle. It was fun today. I hope you guys love my team with Boss Grundy and Red Lantern Hal Jordan. I hope that it gives you hope that just because everyone hates someone doesn't mean they're actually bad. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. And you guys should probably check out my other videos because they're pretty cool. Anyway, you have a good night. See ya.